Happy Halloween, everybody! Trevor here, and it's time for another spooky top 5 video. And for this year, we will be discussing my top 5 favorite Halloween specials of all time. For this list, I won't be including any horror films that are aimed at adults, not even the works of Stephen King. It has to be family friendly. It also must be either a Halloween movie for families or a TV special of some kind. So therefore, I won't be including any Halloween episodes from various shows such as Thomas and Friends. And furthermore, while I'm not a huge fan of Halloween nowadays, aside from the candies, but I can respect those who still enjoy scary stuff like jump scares, spooky images, etc. Now without further delay, let's begin this spooky top 5, shall we? Number 5. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. While the Charlie Brown Christmas specials are some of my favorites along with the Easter Beagle one, this one will be my third favorite because of its charming sense of humor, likable and relatable characters, and interesting storyline. A perfect example of a very funny gag in this was every time Charlie Brown, who is dressed like a poorly carved out ghost, goes door to door for trick-or-treating, he ends up getting rocks instead of candy. I also thought the relationship between Linus and Charlie Brown's little sister Sally was quite adorable. Now, the premise of this special is about Linus trying to find the Great Pumpkin in the pumpkin patch and see it in person, who turns out to be Snoopy the dog in the end, which gets Linus upset even during the ending credits. The reason this is so low on the list is because I haven't seen it in a very long time. I wish I had this on DVD or Blu-ray, but that's okay. I don't need to get every single form of physical media. I could always stream it somewhere online. But still, when it comes to family-friendly Halloween specials, as well as Charlie Brown specials in general, this is one of the most memorable ones. I highly recommend it along with the other Halloween specials / movies on this list. Speaking of which, number 4, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. When it comes to Scooby-Doo specials in general, this is my most favorite one because this marks the very first time when the gang encounters real, and I do mean real, monsters such as zombies and the 3 werecats, who were originally humans in disguise and were the real bad guys this whole time. I remember when I had this on VHS back in the day, and it still holds up because of its very interesting storyline, new characters, and spooky imagery. It was also nice for the Mystery Gang to get together again after many years of separation. I especially love the voice acting, including Frank Welker as Fred, as well as the action, 2D animation, and comedy. It was also nice to hear the original Scooby-Doo theme song at the beginning of the film while the gang were being chased by monsters. And in my opinion, this one is more memorable than its respective sequel, which I've heard was overall terrible. So, in conclusion, if you're looking for one of the best Scooby-Doo specials for Halloween, then this one is the perfect film for you. Coming at number 3 is the original Haunted Mansion from 2003. This movie stars Eddie Murphy as Jim Evers, one of the main characters. You may also recognize him as Mushu from Mulan, as well as Donkey from Shrek. This movie is also based on a popular attraction at Disney parks known as the Haunted Mansion, and in my opinion, this is one of my favorites along with the Jungle Cruise and the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. There is also the 2023 reboot, which I thought was interesting, but not as memorable as the original 2003 version in terms of humor, wit, and charm. This adaptation is about a black family known as the Evers, who were visiting a mansion hoping to sell it to someone. There, they met Master Edward Gracie and his stern butler Ramsley, who turned out to be ghosts later in the film. And in the beginning of the film, there are disturbing scenes that foreshadow the events of the climax, as well as how the people in the mansion died, such as Edward Gracie hanging himself after he lost his beloved fiancée, who died from wine poisoning, which was later revealed to be caused by the butler Ramsley because he thought the relationship would be a disgrace to the Gracie legacy. And as a result, a fiery dragon from hell grabs Ramsley and takes him all the way down to the bottom as punishment for his betrayal, while the rest of the souls, including Edward and Elizabeth, thanks the Evers as they departed all the way up to heaven. In my opinion, if you look past the spooky imagery and jump scares every now and then, this is a great family film. Not only is it entertainingly spooky, but it also has some hilarious characters like the moments with Wallace Shawn as Ezra and Jennifer Tilly as Madame Leota. Not to mention that we get to see the iconic hitchhiking ghosts in one scene, as well as a couple scenes with the singing bus, who, in my opinion, are the best comic relief characters of all time because of their hilarious singing and imitating what the characters were trying to tell them. So, therefore, I like this version better than the 2023 reboot, which came out 20 years after this film was released. I highly recommend the original 2003 version because it's more family oriented than the average 2023 remake, which was PG-13 by the way. However, the best thing about the 2023 version is Danny DeVito as one of the supporting characters, but that's just me though. Coming at number 2 is Mickey's House of Villains. Not to be confused with the episode Pete's House of Villains, this is a Halloween special for the House of Mouse TV show, which I consider one of my absolute favorites when it comes to Disney Channel shows in general. Not only do I like the shorts that they show off in this special, but my most favorite part of all would have to be the villain song, It's Our House Now, which didn't occur until the second act. You see, Jafar's plan was to take over the House of Mouse by midnight as the new host, while the other villains serve as supporting antagonists such as Ursula and Captain Hook. Speaking of villains, it was also nice to see a bunch of villains in the background singing and dancing to this song while kicking out Mickey and the gang at the end. One of my favorite cameos was called the Python from the Jungle Book, who only had one line of singing while attempting to hypnotize Minnie Mouse. Though I kinda wish Shere Khan was in this too, but oh well. Like I always say, beggars can't be choosers. And during the climax, Mickey Mouse comes back in his famous Sorcerer's Apprentice attire to fight off Jafar and the other villains once and for all. But as all hope seems lost when he loses his hat, Aladdin gives Mickey and his friends the lamp to hold Jafar inside forever, thus turning the House of Mouse back to normal. Bottom line, this Halloween special deserves the number 2 spot because I'm a huge fan of House of Mouse, as well as the villain song itself. In fact, there were so many YouTubers out there who would use this song and meme it by using different villains from different properties, which I thought was very creative in my opinion. In addition, I used to watch this special all the time on DVD when I was an adolescent and teenager during the Halloween season. I'm surprised it's not on Disney Plus yet, along with the Christmas special and the actual show itself. Here's hoping that Disney will do it one day. Before we get to number 1, I just want to give a bunch of honorable mentions. The Alvin and Chipmunks Halloween specials. In all honesty, it's been a while since I've seen them, but I definitely remember the Frankenstein and werewolf ones, which were overall pretty cool in my opinion. Monster House. It would have been number 3 because I thought the old guy was pretty scary himself, but it's still a good movie nonetheless. Hotel Transylvania. I was going to include this one as number 5 because I've heard great things about it, but I think the overall franchise is alright for the most part, but it's not something I would watch all the time. But it's still 100 times better than Felix the Cat the movie when it comes to handling cartoon noise and stuff. The Addams Family 2019. This movie is okay, but not as good as its predecessors in terms of humor and staying true to the original source material. However, I do like the Tim Burton-esque art style in the film, which makes it look more interesting in my humble opinion. Corpse Bride. I was gonna include this one as number 2 since it's my second favorite Tim Burton film, but I decided to omit it because I don't want to spoil the number 1 spot, which I'll get into right now. And my number 1 choice is obviously The Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm sure some of you knew this one was coming. Well, there's a huge reason why this is number 1. It's not only because of the unique Tim Burton style stop motion, it's also because it's both a Halloween and Christmas special combined. Fun fact, this movie was originally directed by Henry Selick, while being produced and written by Tim Burton. Learn something new every day, am I right? I especially like the quirky characters, including the main hero Jack Skellington, the main villain Oogie Boogie, voiced by the late Ken Page, and even Jack's ghost dog Zero, who has a red nose like Rudolph. The plot of this movie is about Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King, getting sick and tired of Halloween yearly, so he decides to go on a journey to find something new. He eventually finds a Christmas tree door, which leads him to Christmas Town, which gives him the idea of bringing the wonders and joys of Christmas to Halloween Town, as well as taking Santa's place temporarily before learning his lesson in the end. When it comes to the story and its overall message about doing your best, it's very good, which is also one of the reasons why I love this movie. Oh, and did I forget to mention the songs I like This Is Halloween and What's This? Those are two of my favorite songs in the entire movie because they're fun and catchy. So, in conclusion, The Nightmare Before Christmas is one of the best and most revolutionary holiday movies that combines both Halloween and Christmas at the same time. And this was back when Tim Burton did a great job, unlike nowadays. Now let me know in the comment section below on which of these Halloween specials are your favorite. Do you agree with my list, or do you have your own personal preference? And it doesn't have to be a family-friendly Halloween special. It can be a horror movie for adults, too. This is Trevor Davis signing off, and I hope you all have a very happy Halloween this year.